What is up, my little Deinos? Vepsis here, your coach of the Helsinki Dragons, and we are back for the UBL Season 4 Week 6 battle when we go up against Aaron 2420 and his team being the Calgary Infernapes. His YouTube channel link will be down below in the description, so make sure to check him out, especially because I feel like he deserves it by being able to help so many people throughout the Draft League community. Not necessarily myself, because I haven't actually interacted with him besides now when we have been scheduling for this battle, but other than that, I haven't been too much around him, but I know and heard his name several times by the people that I watch for Draft League content, and he seems to find his way to always be able to help so many people in different ways, so I think he deserves the love and support, so make sure to check him out. Like I said, his YouTube channel link should be down below in the description. But regards to the matchup, you can see above your facecam, he actually took over a team over Marot because he had to step down. I don't know exactly why, but hopefully everything is good with him. But either way, Aaron is here and he is going to be the one that we go up against. And I'm gonna be bringing a team that it's not a super quick build, but it wasn't a team build that I really focused as much as I have done in previous weeks, because I just simply could not have as much time this week, unfortunately, because I have 3 draft leagues currently going on, and one of them is at the point that I'm in the finals, and that is a league that I'm doing with my friends in Showdown, and I really want to put the most emphasis to that. So that's one of the reasons that I don't have as much to put on this team build, but I still feel like it's solid enough to give me a chance to win. The other reason that I didn't put as much time to it, even though I would like to win over Aaron, is that I feel like he is a very likely playoff opponent this week. Or in a future weeks, but I should say. We are 2 weeks away from playoffs, and I feel like he has a solid shot making there, so I don't want to showcase my best team immediately. If he happens to be forced to bring very good team versus me and happens to beat me, I am okay with that, because I am pretty much locked for playoffs as of right now, and as long as I don't screw up my final 2 weeks, I should be getting the bye week as well. So I'm in a solid spot. I have nothing more, I don't feel like I have much to lose as much as my opponent, so that's why I'm kind of going semi-casual into this, but still try my best to win. And the team that I'm gonna be bringing is gonna be starting off with my Assault Vest Conkelder, which is primarily I wanted to make Assault Vest because when you look at his team, barring his Sancor, primarily he's a Monsaga special attacker, so the Assault Vest made more sense as I briefly looked into it. And then I'm just running a double stab with Train Punch and Mach Punch, and then I have Thunder Punch and Poison Jab for his premier fighting resist that I worried about, being the Sylveon and Mantine. He also has Rose Red and Duocean, but I feel like I have better ways to deal with those than I have with Mantine and Sylveon, so I have figured that this is the best way to go about it, and I believe, Iron Fist as well this time around as my ability. So that is the Conkelder. The next one will be my Corviknight, which is fully physically defensive with leftovers. No stab this week, even though I feel like Brave Bird would have been nice to have, or Iron Head, but I figured that U-turn and body press should cover pretty much what I wanted it there to be for, because this thing is purely there to deal with his Sancor and just be able to remove potential hazards, because he has options to hazard stack me with the Stealth Rocks from his Sancor and the Rose Red having access to Bolt Spike. So I want to have Defog just in case, and that's pretty much the Corviknight, plain and simple from there. And then we are gonna be bringing very simple set as well, especially defensive Restark Centiscores, which is definitely not the first time and maybe not the last time either that I run it this way. Because it's too good, man, it's too good. So we are running Fire Lance and Knockoff. This is there to kind of slow down Hydreigon, even though I don't touch it with anything. But the big thing is that if I can remove its item, that means that it's a lot easier for my other things to be able to deal with it from there. But primarily it's also there to deal with the Rose Red, it deals with Duocean, it deals with Sylveon, it deals with Frostlass. Like pretty much besides maybe the Hydreigon actually, it actually deals with all of the other special attackers, and Mantine is of course another thing that I deal with too well. But I figure that this moveset is pretty much the best one that I could have gone with. I could have put in like Leech Slide over Fire Last so I deal with Hydreigon better, but alas, I figure that this one is good enough, and thankfully Hydreigon doesn't have Rouge, so I can slowly whittle it down if anything, and we are gonna be just going based on that. So that's going to be the Send Squads. The next one will be my dual stab, a low kick and bulk up obstacle with Flame of God set. And this is there just to wall break. I have the bulk up as my last move. This was a kind of like a toss up, to be honest, but I figured to put bulk up here just in case if I need the extra damage output versus a duo, so which is gonna try to stall me out with a iron defense set. And I figured that, you know what, off the chance that would show up and try to do that and stall me out with flame of burn recoil, I figure that the bulk up is the best one to go about it. And if I get just a bulk up versus like a Mantine, I guarantee kill it with Facade from there. And pretty much I put him in a position that he cannot defensively check me anymore, and then he has to rely on his offense to revenge kill me, which I can manage, hopefully. Going from there. So that's going to be the obstacle, just a breaker for this week as usual. Then we have Choice Scarf Gengar with the dual stab, Dazzling Gleam and Thunderbolt. This is just there to provide me speed control over his potential Choice Scarfers. So as long as I can manage the sand or potential Trick Room, I should have ways to have the speed control over my opponent. That's primarily what Gengar is there for. I had a lot of different other ideas that I could have done with this, but I figured Choice Scarf is safe and simple, and I can pretty much make it work, I feel like, for this week, and just go from there. And then the final member of this week will be my specially defensive Seismitoad, which is primarily there just to give me stealth rocks and be a pivot for Mantine, because I don't have really good ways to deal with it otherwise defensively. So I figured that, you know what, I'm gonna have this thing in the bag to able to switch into it, and thankfully due to pre-home he cannot toxic me, but because I get still access to toxic, I can toxic him back and I can go from there. And stealth rocks are actually very vital as well to be able to two-shot a Sylvia with my Obstagoon as well without being boosted up combined with knockoff into Facade. So that's pretty much the team. Very plain and simple. Like I mentioned, not as much time to spend on it as in other weeks, but I feel like it's good enough to win, and there's only one way to figure it out. So I'm gonna be coming back once I'm connected with my opponent, so sit tight and let's get this show on the roll. Alright, here we are with the battle versus Aaron2420. This is kind of weird for me to record this after it was so long time ago when I did the intro for this video. As you can notice, I have a different hoodie by now. It's been like a few days already since I did that, but we had some rescheduling that we had to do. But here we are, and I'm excited to get this going. I actually did the AP Academy Week 2 battle right before this one. So I'm kind of pushing this kind of like back to back, but it's okay. But let's see what Aaron decides to bring as we get into this. He is in a position that I feel like he's more pressured to really go out and win this battle than I am necessarily. And he decides to bring Frostmoth, Heliolix, Sylveon, Mantine, Roserade and Excadrill. So he didn't bring Chandelure. Neither he brought the Sand, which is interesting. And he didn't bring Hydreigon either, which is quite a surprising, but I'm glad that he didn't, because I didn't bring either of my fairy types. So very particular matchup for me, but I do like my Conkeldurr quite a bit here. And I also like I do also like my Sendiscorps as a potential lead. Now I'm looking at it as well. Obstagoon is gonna really go in versus him. He doesn't really have good responses for that either, but I could lead with something that really pressures the Heliolist right from the get-go versus the only things that I don't match up well versus would be the Roserade and Sylveon. Mantine I might stay in and be able to go for the Thunder Punch on that turn, so I might stick with that lead, which I was thinking that I would do either way, even though the team looks a tiny bit different than I anticipated. But let's see what he decides to lead with. I'm curious to see what the Frostmoth's purpose will be for this matchup. I do have to watch out for it to be Quitterdan set, but I do have Sendiscorps to be able to deal with it. So it should be like Sendiscorps actually deals with over half of his team, so I do like it here as well. But he does lead out with the Heliolisk, which is interesting lead of choice that he made right from the get-go. But I have obviously a very good matchup here, so I'm gonna be going for the Poison Jab, I think, because I want to catch the Sylveon on the switch. So I'll do just that, and I hope I catch it. If he goes into Mantine, I can see how much it's gonna be doing, and ideally I can just follow it up with a Thunder Punch and take it from there. But I would feel like the Sylveon is more likely to come in, or even the Roserade. But let's see. I don't recognize your nicknames, but I catch this Sylveon on the switch. Let's see how much you're gonna be taking from this. You might be Kebia Berry, as you are, so he might be like a defensive Kebia Berry set to be a pivot, but I'm glad that I popped it immediately, and I did a good damage to him on that turn. So he should be at 60% of health. Let's see if I can blow you back on a following turn. If I would happen to stay in. Let's see, Conkeldurr. I cannot take it from this range yet, so I need to swap out. And I will swap into my Centiskorch on this turn. And see what he's gonna be doing. Like, he's gonna be probably clicking Hyper Voice. And that's kind of why I want to go into my Centiskorch on this turn. But it's really good that I already weakened it quite a bit. And he does go for the Hyper Voice there. So that's pretty solid. And here, pretty much what I can do. I'm gonna check what he again had. His primary switching would be the Mantine. So I could try to make a double into my Seismitoad and get up my rocks. Or I could go for the knockoff and see what kind of damage I will do. And I think I will do that, because I could see him going for a Button Pass on this turn. So I'm gonna be going for the knockoff. And I have a safe switching to Mantine in my Seismitoad, so I'm okay with this. And if I get even knockoff damage on this guy, I will do good a bit of chip to the point that next Poison Jab from my Conkeldurr will definitely take him out. But let's see what he's gonna be doing. Just be able to eliminate the Mantine's heavy duty boots would be nice. And that sounds like the Mantine, so we do see that thing coming in. And let's see how much I'm gonna be able to do. I should be doing a good amount, as I do, and he's a Damp Rock, so he's a offensive Man-type potentially, which is really interesting, but I guess unless he's like Substitute, I would have to worry about this. But something that I could do is that I'll just go into my Seismitoad and just wear down the rain turns, thanks to the fact that the fact that I'm able to tell that item immediately already tells me quite a bit of his sets. And unless he doesn't have Roost, he should not be having a Scald on this thing. And I am especially defensive. It would be a shame if he happens to run Substitute on this. But I do go for the Toxic initially. And I would assume that Hurricane would be coming out here, as he does go for the Hurricane, but I am especially defensive, so I can take this quite well, and ideally that wouldn't happen, or I can break through and land the Toxic. Come on, Seismitoad, come on, Seismitoad, come on, Seismitoad, there we go, and we get that one off, and that's really nice. I can now deal with this thing quite a lot easier 1v1, and I like that. Like, that would have been really shame if I missed that, but now that I got it Toxic off, it's really nice, because I don't actually have a move to hit it, but Toxic is gonna be racking up on him, and I do like this quite a bit. And I do go for the rocks, because that should basically put the Sylveon in a range of Poison Jab next time around, and now he does swap out, and I could see Rose Raid coming in. That sounds like a Rose Raid to me, if anything, and that is going to be it. Hopefully the confusion won't... Okay, there we go, Seismitoad, I like to see that. I definitely like to see that you snap out from it immediately. So we are in a pretty good position. Now there is one thing that I have to remember, that this thing could have Weather Ball for all I know, and that would be really annoying if he would do that. So something that I could do is that I swap into my Conkeldurr, because he can't take any one hit, or I go into this guy, or I go for the Protect to Scout, and I think I Scout if he has Weather Ball, because I could see that being his way to hit my Centiskorch harder, because he has the Rain Up. But let's see, he does go for the Giga Drain, which is perfectly fine, and I gain a little bit of leftovers to be able to deal with that. With the Mantine a little bit easier. But basically what I can do is that I use my Corviknight as a pivot for this, and that's pretty much what I'm gonna be doing. He could make a double into Heliolisk, which I could see being a pretty good double, but he doesn't know that which one I'm gonna be using as a pivot yet, Centiskorch or this guy. But let's see what he's gonna be doing. He could go for Extend Spore or some other shenanigans, but he does go for the Weather Ball, so I'm glad that I go into this. But this will hurt because I'm physically defensive. Yeah, that's gonna hurt quite a bit, because he is a life offset, but that's gonna be all he can do at this point, because that was the one turn that he was able to get off. And here I could debate that, do I need to go for Roost or do I value the momentum, because I could really see him going to Mantine or Heliolisk on this particular turn. So I kind of want to go for the U-turn, and that's what I'm gonna be doing, because I don't need, well, then again, Roost would be really nice for the Exegil, so maybe that was a little bit premature to really go for that immediately. But I think I can Roost later on. And if the game, okay, he does go for the Helios, but I do have to find out a turn with versus the Rose Raid next time around, or versus the Exotree if I get myself in for free to get that one right. But now he does go into the Heliolisk, and at this point I could see myself just going to either my Gengar or I think Conkeldurr is always my best play. He struggles the most switching to this guy, so I will do just that. And let's see what he's gonna be doing. He is leftovers on this guy, so he is probably, yeah, he definitely brought some like manual Raincore here, not like outside of the Mantine and Rose Raid. So that's pretty cool prep from his behalf. But I think I will just go for the Drain Punch, because I can pretty much deal with everything from this point on. So I'm gonna be doing, I could go for the Mach Punch as well, but I think just Drain Punching should be my best play. It's gonna do the majority of, it's gonna be doing the most damage to versus majority of his things. And he does go into the, I could have gone for the Thunder Punch here, but it's okay, I still will do quite a bit of damage to him with this. And the Stealth Rocks are up, so I might be able to two-shot him here, which is pretty cool. Or just Okoi straight out with Drain Punch. So that worked out pretty well, and I'm glad that that thing is out of the picture. And now he doesn't have any ways to get up the rain anymore. But the Exegil I have to watch out for. I'm kind of regretting that I don't have Focus Blast on my Gengar. But then again, I probably would not be landing it with my Choice Scarf if I would rely on it. But Conkeldurr is a very good check to it still. But I have to see that if there's a turn for me to get the Roost off, and maybe sacking something for forcing Exegil to go for one of its stabs will be the turn that allows me to get up my Roost, and that's probably the best way that I can go about it. I don't think I should be risking my Crown Immunity versus a potential Exegil that is not in Sand, so it's probably gonna be Choice Scarf. But he does go into the Rose Raid, which is perfectly fine, I guess. It would be a little bit annoying if he kind of do up massive damage to me with a Sludge Bomb or any of that kind of stuff. I could go into my Gengar, but that's pretty risky as well. I don't want to use you as a pivot for this. Let's see, do I want to use Centiskorch for this? He's Life Orb, so it's going to be doing quite a lot. So what I will do is that if I go in, like, Gengar is not necessarily the most important thing. I could use it as a pivot for this and just straight go for a Sludge Bomb, for example. So I might go into Gengar here, so that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna use Gengar as a pivot, because maybe I don't need it to be as healthy as possible, and I do want to keep Centiskorch a lot healthier than it is currently. I get a free switching to it, but let's see what he's gonna be going for. He does go for the Extra Sensory. Very, very nice play from his behalf. Very strong play, but I get the Curse Body on him. I wish I would have gone into my Obstacle on that turn, but very solid play from his behalf. But this means that I get my Obstacle in for free, and I'm gonna be doing just that. And I go for the knockoff and pretty much two-shot anything that would come in on that turn. But very good play from his behalf, and I definitely have to keep in mind that Conkeldurr and Corviknight have to be able to deal with that Exegil in the back. But very strong play from his behalf, going for the Extra Sensory, seeing that Gengar could be a nice pivot for his dual stab, which was primarily what I tried to go for. But let's see what he's gonna be doing. It was very risky play from my behalf, but I didn't need the Choice Scarf for the Hydreigon in itself. And the Sylveon is pretty much weakened already, the Mantine is weakened. It's not really great versus Frostmoth either, so I'm gonna be going for the knockoff. I could see him sacking the Sylveon here, and that's pretty much going to be his play here. If he's, well, I know already he's not Choice Scarf, so I should be good to go here. If he has Quick Attack, it's gonna do a little bit of chip, but it's okay. And I don't think he has anything to switching to Facade other than Exegil, which I would gladly do a butt ton of damage to him. So he's probably gonna be just doing this as a sack and give himself a better opportunity switching to something else. But Obstagoon is in, and he doesn't enjoy switching to this. He doesn't have Pixelate boosted quick attack to get a chip, so we are still able to be at 88% after taking... No, we are gonna be at 94% because now this is the first turn of burn that I had to take, and he doesn't have good ways to OHKO me at this point, which is pretty nice. And if he goes into Extra, I might even stay in at this point and get some damage, or predict him to swap out. But he does go into the Heliolisk, so I'm not sure if he can actually OHKO me at this point. And if I can just eliminate Heliolisk from here, it takes a lot of pressure from my Centiskorch, so I might just stay in and just take this hit. But it's also my best way dealing with his Rose Red, so maybe I should not be as hesitant about doing that. So I could go into my... Yeah, I think I'm gonna be going into my Centiskorch, because he should not be able to do too much damage to me, and he doesn't like switching to my Centiskorch either. So I'm gonna be doing just that and see what will be his response to this. As he does go for the substitute, so he tried to get some little bit of Flame Rogue recall, which is perfectly fine that he made that play, because he needs me to be in a range of Choice Scarf Extra, which I would guess would be his way of winning condition right now. But I want to keep the Obstagoon because it's my best way of revenge killing Rose Red, and every single time I get it in, I get basically a kill. And here I probably just go for the Fire Lash. I don't see a reason not to go for that. And he's gonna be going for the Thunderbolt, which should not be doing too much because I'm especially defensive. And you can see that that doesn't do literally all too much to me. And pretty much here, he doesn't actually have a good response to switching to this guy at all. So I could consider just going for the attack, or I could go for the rest, because there are things that I could rest on. The Frostmoth would be a worrisome if he actually has Hurricane, now that I remember. But I think I just go for the Fire Lash, because again, he doesn't enjoy switching to me. But actually, I think I just clicked rest on that point. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I clicked rest, unless... I don't know what just happened. Hopefully I didn't click something else that I regretted of doing. He does go for Declare, so thankfully and hopefully I do get the rest off here, if I just click that. Yeah, I clicked the rest, so that's really nice. Thank God he didn't get that, and now I get a free Sleep Talk turn, and he doesn't switch into this at all. The fact that Mantine is down and he didn't bring Gigalith, he really doesn't like my Sleep Talk turns if I get a knockoff or rest. Like, none of his mons want to take this, so I'm really... I kind of misclicked, like I didn't feel like I was thinking about rest, and I was probably gonna click that, but the fact that I kind of misclicked it was quite funny in that sense. But he does go for the substitute again, which is perfectly fine, because I just go for my Sleep Talk, and ideally I just get one of my attacking moves, and this thing substitute will be broken, and I do get the Fire Lash, so nice. Centiskorch is putting yet again at work. I've been really happy with Centiskorch this season, if you haven't been able to tell. I have brought it to quite a few of games thus far, and it just somehow, some way finds its way to do a lot of work, and it's one of my best value picks that I have done in this generation, to be honest. I'm really happy how this thing is performing. He's gonna be going for the substitute again. I guess he really wants me to be paralyzed, but so you know what, is perfectly okay with me, I suppose, because I can rest off once he has to do any kind of damage to me, and I do get the rest. And now he's gonna be behind a substitute, and he would go for the Thunderbolt, but because he's lower than me, he basically has to do that in order to like, Claire doesn't take him anywhere. Like, he would be just wasting PP for no reason. Yeah, he does go for the Thunderbolt, which means that I am able to go for the rest. Yeah, that did a good amount of damage. Like, that was a critical hit, so I might just go for the rest hit again, because he's gonna be attacking me or clearing me, and yet again nothing really wants to take me on, and I feel like he shouldn't really risk this thing. If he swaps into the Extra Chill, then so be it, I suppose, because I could basically at that point sack my Seismitoad on this turn, but I really want to keep my Centiskorch alive, so even if he makes a very hard predict, which he doesn't thankfully, we should be able to take this hit and go for the rest yet again. I'm not like, this mon is too good versus me. I should not undervalue its health on this point and try to think too far ahead what he could potentially do. So I'll just go for the rest yet again, and now I go for the Sleep Talk, and he shouldn't have not enough HP yet to go for a substitute, so he's gonna start doing this or risk a swap out here and me getting another attacking move, which I don't think he should be doing because it's not worth the risk to him. So I'm basically waiting until I get to kill this thing, and that's basically what my opponent is waiting as well. It's not his best interest to swap out, and I do get the knockoff, so I am good amount of health. I have one sleep talk turn to be burned, but the Heliolisk is gone. And at this point I think my Seismitoad probably is my most expendable member, even though it's a good amount of health, because it doesn't need to be a volt switch immunity. It doesn't have to check the Mantine anymore. Sylveon is already dealt with, so he only has the Frostmoth, Extra Trill, and there's the Extra Trill. Alright. I would anticipate you to be Choice Scarf. And based on that, I do want to go into my Seismitoad. If he substitute up, I can just be able to Earthquake you. If you Sword Dance, that would be a little bit annoying. But let's see what he's gonna be doing. I'll just go for this, see what he does. He does go for the substitute, but that is okay, because now again he took that amount of damage on himself and puts himself in a range where the Mach Punch should be able to take him out. So I'm perfectly fine with this, and I'm getting more health. So maybe I'm able to live a +2 Earthquake if he happens to have that. And let's see what he's gonna be doing. I could see this being now a Sword Dance set, but I have Conkeldurr and I have Obstagoon both that can either out-prioritize him or outspeed him. So he does go for the Sword Dance here, but again, I have my Obstagoon in the back, which definitely should be doing a lot of damage to you. And I'm curious to see how much Extra Chill will be taken. I know that he is not Choppleberry. So Obstagoon, as I look at this, I don't see what's happening besides. Yeah, Low Kick will be doing that amount, Knocko will be doing 77%. So he might be pretty close of range of that to be dying to it. And how much as the animations are going on, how much the Conkeldurr will be doing. I will do the same amount with that as well. So here I just go for the Earthquake. Maybe I happen to live the hit, but it's more likely than I die to this because I'm actually especially defensive. And we do get taken out by that. So now I have to see and think that which one is more valuable to me. Like, do I go into the Obstagoon or do I go into my Conkeldurr? And I think the answer to that will be Obstagoon, believe it or not. And I will go from there. I think I can still manage the growth rate with my Conkeldurr. I have to keep my Sentis scores for the Frostmoth in the back, so I just go for the knockoff, and I would be, or I should be able to outspeed him, because I made myself outspeed Rose Raid as well. Hopefully, that's what I think I spec Crip with this thing with. And let's see how much this is gonna be doing. I wish I had close combat on this guy, but let's see if this is able to take it out. And he barely lives in like a slimmer amount of health. That's unfortunate, so he gets another kill as well. And there goes that, but now I still have my Conkeldurr in the back, which basically gets to Mach Punch this thing, and we should be good to go from there. If he goes into the Rose Red, I still should be good to go. If he goes into the Frost Mode, I do shitload to him as well, and here I just Mach Punch there. He doesn't preserve this, and let's see what he does. I would think, again, like I mentioned earlier, that he would sack this thing, as he does. And now he has the Frost Mode remaining and the Rose Raid as well. So he might be able to still get one more kill. But let's see. I would like to think Drain Punch is gonna be doing enough to a Frost Mode. But he does go into the Rose Raid, which is perfectly fine. I wonder how much life... I don't think the Life Orb... Let me see. Rose Raid... You use its Life Orb Extra Sensory. That is gonna be doing to me about that amount of health, and Drain Punch should be able to combine with Mach Punch to take you out. So I'm gonna be going for the Drain Punch because I gain health on this turn. Ideally I don't get flinched, that would be actually really annoying. Knocko would, do not flinch me, do not flinch me, do not flinch me. Do not flinch me, Life Orb Recall. There we go, we get the Drain Punch off as well, so we should be able to gain good amount of health a little bit back. after having to take that hit. So Conkeldurr is putting in the work, son. I like to see this. I haven't brought Conkeldurr more than one game prior to this, which is kind of funny because I picked it round 2. But it's been like one of those trump cards that I have had on my team that I always knew that there will be matchups where it's gonna be super good versus, and I basically pick it for that reason. Such a good mon versus a lot of higher tier threats that are picked in Galarian decks. And I'm glad to see that it's paying out right now in the second time that I have brought it. And now the Frostmoth comes in. And I think I do just go for the Drain Punch. I might even outspeed him depending on his speed investment. But it's my best play to get the most damage off on him. And he does go for the Hurricane. But he misses. So that's really unfortunate that his Frostmoth happens to miss that. And he's not able to lower the differential from that point. So that's very rough from there. But now I just Mach Punch. And that is going to be a good game to Arrow. Now I really apologize for the Hurricane dodge that I was able to do at the end. I'm not sure, I have to look back on it how much it mattered. Obviously he would have killed this thing, but I'm not sure that if regards to the win it would have mattered necessarily at that point. Depending on his set, if he was able to try to clean me out with like Choice Specs, Hurricane for example, if he was Choice Scarf that could have been annoying. Or if he was a setup, maybe he could have tried to find opportunity to go for that. But either way, make sure to check out my opponent. I mentioned this on the intro as well. Very solid guy. Even though I haven't got to know him myself personally, I had heard that he has helped so many people in the Draft League community. And even throughout the previous generation and in this generation, he's been a huge help to a lot of people. And I can respect that a lot. So make sure to check him out. His YouTube channel link will be down below in the description. I expect him to make to the playoffs, so we might have a rematch in the future as we get into that point. But yet again, thank you all for watching. Make sure to check out the APA Week 2 battle, which will be going up in 2 days, which is going to be on this week's Friday. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you're new. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. And until week 7, when I go up against the OG coach from the GBA days, Old Man Top. And that is going to be our final battle in the regular season. Until then, thank you yet again for the 3rd time for watching. And I'm going to be seeing you guys later.